Let's get some more analysis of this now. And on set is Faisul Al-Muldaqa. He is the editor-in-chief of the Gulf Times newspaper. Faisal, thanks so much for being on the program. We've seen images, as is always the case, there's controversy and heightened media scrutiny in the lead up to any World Cup. We saw that with Russia, we saw that with Brazil. So how's the scrutiny of Qatar before the games kicked off been any different?
Well, I think what happened in Qatar is more than what happened in Russia and tournament that had been happening before. It was a part of a propaganda that was led by, I will say, I will divide it into three parts. One, it was propaganda, and second was by Islamophobia, and again, I think it was also kind of racism. There was the fourth pillar, which is the people who are on the ignorant side. So I think this World Cup really have opened eyes for a lot of people. You know, the viewer by today final will be 5 billion. So this is 5 times the Super Bowl. We have crossed the record of people who are attending, and we always say seeing is believing. So, you know, by having all these nations visiting Qatar, getting introduced to the Arabic culture. You know, we are not only Qatar, we are a part of the Middle East, and the Middle East is 450 million. That has been always bad scenes in the news and bad news, and you know, so this is really an opportunity. So people get together, and I think really it kind of like gave the real impression of what we want to do, you know.
Yeah, one of my favourite images has been the fans wearing the traditional thobes,
Yes.
but in their fan colours. And for me, I think that's been such a beautiful image. What do you think that means, or what do you think fans have learned, foreign fans have learned about this region, and how have they shown what they've learned?
Look, I'm very glad, Emily, that you have put this in front, because look, it has been 100, there is a study of 100 years of Hollywood movies is being of 1,000 images of people wearing the qitra and the thobe. And about 950, it's all about negative. So if you go to the movies, Lawrence of Arabia, the movies, The Sword of Sindbad, many movies, you know, and it's always puts the guy who wears the thobe is the greedy or the, you know, or the negative part. And really, this World Cup kind of destroyed this stereotype. And gave, it's another traditional cloth for a nation that is peaceful, that is welcoming, that has hospitality. And this is what the whole idea was about. I really give a big credit on the guy who made this qitra in different flags, because this kind of, if whatever you're going to do, the stereotype that has been built, I think have been destroyed in the capital here in Doha.
And Faisal, this is Qatar's the first Arab and Middle Eastern nation to host a World Cup. Just what does it mean for people in this region and elsewhere? Look,
this region has a population of 2/3 of youth. So I think this tournament have gave a hope for the other countries in the Middle East. And you know, we can hear President Infantino have announced Morocco will be the championship for the club. We heard Saudi is bidding for the next World Cup. So really, this good challenge gives, I think this is what Qatar have inspired our neighbors, you know, and put everybody together. And have you seen, Qataris or Saudis supporting Morocco, or Moroccans supporting Tunisia? So really, this football, I think, made people together, and beside any conflict that has been there, you know, for any reason.
You touched upon it there, Faisal, this unifying nature of this tournament. I've been particularly struck by this. I was at Argentina, Saudi Arabia, and the Saudi Arabia fans I spoke to were saying, well, after this match, we're going to go and be supporting Tunisia and, like you say, Morocco. Can you just explain this sense of connection with the Arab nations and how they were all coming together?
So look, I think that culture diplomacy and sport diplomacy have won the real diplomacy. Because, you know, whatever you do in diplomacy and embassies and bilateral, this sport or the football have made everybody together. So Qatar have been doing a lot on the mediation of Afghanistan, culture, museum. So this is part of what I call it sport diplomacy.
Well, Faisal, we have found it incredibly moving to be a part of, and those stories I think will stay with us for many, many years to come. Thank you so much for your time and your analysis.
Happy National Day.
Yes, happy Qatar National Day. That was Faisal Al-Muldaqa, the editor-in-chief of the Gulf Times newspaper. Thank you.
Thank you.